Hey guys, it's Pelli. I hope you're having a great holiday season. This video is all about the big four supermodels. They became so famous that they were globally recognized by their first name. They were all featured in my very first video, but I feel the need to do a little update, and without further information, let's begin. Naomi Campbell. Born May 22, 1970 in South London, England, she is of Afro and Chinese Jamaican ancestry. At a very young age, she aspired to be a dancer like her mother and study ballet. In 1978, when she was 7 years old, she was in the music video for Bob Marley's Is This Love. At age 12, she tap danced in the music video for Culture's Clubs. At a very young age, she got made fun of for the way she looked, and modeling was the last thing on her mind. She lived at her grandmother's house while her mother traveled across Europe with the dance company Fantastica. She would go on to credit her mother for teaching her how to catwalk. One day when she was 15 years old, Naomi was hanging out with her friends in the street near London Covent Garden when she was discovered by Beth Bolt, head of the Synchro agency. Naomi said she was actually very excited, but when she told her mother disapproved and encouraged her to stay in school. But Naomi would end up meeting with the head of Synchro agency on her own. They took some test shots and her mother later approved. One of Naomi's career-defining moments happened just 3 months after signing with Synchro agency and right before her 16th birthday. She appeared on the cover of British Elle, and her career as a model quickly took off. At the start of her career, there were brands that wouldn't book her because of the color of her skin, but she didn't let that bother her. She just knew she had to work twice as hard. Her hard work paid off. In 1987, she was on the cover of British Vogue for the December issue. She eventually became the first black model to appear on the cover of French Vogue and Time magazine. Naomi became highly demanded in the fashion industry and a muse for many designers. She was on the runway for every major fashion house and had a close relationship with Versace, being a frequent model for his shows and campaign. She also did both couture and commercial. She appeared on countless ad campaigns, became the face for many brands, and graced the cover of magazines worldwide. During the supermodel era, Naomi was one of the highest paid supermodels for many years in the 90s, and was one of the most recognizable faces. She was constantly in the press. Naomi was also famous for her sultry walk down the runway. It was her trademark feature along with her long legs. Decades after, many new models cite Naomi walk as their inspiration. She made appearances on television shows such as House of Style, and she starred in music videos for Madonna and Michael Jackson. In the mid to late 90s, she ventured into other areas of the entertainment industry. She did some acting for movies such as Miami Rhapsody. She released an album which, despite being a critical flop, sold over 1 million copies, and she also published a book. She was successful in and outside of fashion. In 2000, after a series of allegations and incidents, Naomi was interviewed by Barbara Walter, where she opened up about her anger issue. By 2006 though, many of her previous employees and associates came forward with claims of abuse. In 2007, she pleaded guilty to assaulting her former housekeeper by throwing a BlackBerry at them. She infamously wore a silver sequin Dolce & Gabbana gown at the last day of her community service. She went on to publicly apologize for her past several times. Throughout all her scandal in the 2000s, Naomi was still very successful in the fashion industry. In 2005, she made an appearance on the Tyra Banks show to discuss their feud. She walked for Victoria's Secret fashion show and the Dior 60th anniversary show. She landed the covers of Vogue, Vanity Fair, and other magazines. She was still a hot commodity in fashion. In the 2010s, she continued her success. She was a coach on the reality TV show The Face for the US, UK, and Australian version. She guest starred in Empire, American Horror Story, and Star. She never really left the runway, always showing up in a show or two. In 2015, she closed for Zac Posen and did a campaign for Burberry. Naomi is involved with several charitable organizations. She supports the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund and was named an ambassador of Rio de Janeiro by the mayor for her effort to fight poverty in Brazil. In 2018, Naomi along with other supermodels reunited closing the Versace show. She also closed the Louis Vuitton show with Kate Moss and received the Fashion Icon Award by the CFDA. In 2019, Naomi received the Fashion Icon Award again at the British Fashion Council Awards show. In 2020, Naomi has a YouTube channel with over 400,000 subscribers. She interviewed celebrities, influencers, and gave an inside look into her life. She published a 2-volume book. She recently made a cameo in Beyonce's Black is King musical film and graced the cover of Vogue. Today, Naomi is credited for opening doors for many black models and has become a fashion icon in her own right. Since her runway debut in the late 80s, Naomi has seen success in one way, shape, or form. Naomi is one of the most successful supermodels of all time. She is the definition of longevity. Cindy Crawford. Born Cynthia Ann Crawford on February 20, 1966, in Illinois, United States, she is of German, English, and French descent. She grew up having a great relationship with her family and had a little brother who died of childhood leukemia at age 3 that greatly affected her. Her mother stated that growing up, Cindy loved to dress up and she was really smart, constantly getting straight A's. In high school, one of her very first jobs was picking corn. She said it taught her independence and the value of $1. Her parents were divorced during this time as well. When she was a sophomore in high school, 2 of her classmates pulled a prank on her by pretending to be a local clothing store calling her about modeling work. But when she was a junior, a local photographer came up to her and offered her some real modeling work. She ended up being featured in a local college paper and received positive feedback from her community, leading Cindy to travel to Chicago with her father to do some test photographs with a modeling agency. Her first job as a model was for a bra ad while she was still in high school. The bra ad would lead to more work for Cindy. At age 17, she entered the Elite Model Management Look of the Year contest and was the runner-up. By her senior year, she was working as a part-time model under Elite in Chicago while attending high school. In 1984, she graduated and was cast valedictorian. She received an academic scholarship to Northwestern University, but after one semester in school, she decided to drop out and pursue modeling full-time. In 1986, she was contacted by Elite New York and would later move to New York City. Under Elite New York, they gave her a major push and dubbed her baby Gia after Gia Karanji. Cindy saw major success and was shooting with some of the top photographers. After only being in New York for a few months, Cindy would grace the cover of Vogue magazine. And unlike other magazines where they photoshopped her mole off, Vogue left it on, and her issue was the best-selling Vogue issue of that year, and her mole became her trademark. She was given the Supermodel title. In 1989, Cindy landed a multi-million-dollar deal with Revlon and hosted MTV House of Style. The MTV show was a hit and made her relatable to millions of viewers. During the supermodel era, Cindy wasn't just a supermodel, she was a superstar supermodel. She was most paid, most known, and most demanded. She was on so many magazine covers that by 1998, it was estimated that she totaled over 500 covers. When designers hired Cindy for the fashion show, they were only getting her all-American beauty and her athletic physique. They were also benefiting off of her notoriety. Throughout the 90s, Cindy constantly ranked high on lists of world's sexiest and most beautiful people. She was one of the first supermodels that ventured beyond fashion and cosmetics. She did fitness video, calendars, TV special, films, and commercial endorsements. One of Cindy's career-defining moments was her Pepsi commercial in 1992. Pepsi will go on to remake the legendary commercial 2 more times in 2002 and 2018. In 1988, Cindy met Richard Gere at a barbecue that was hosted by a fashion photographer she worked with. She instantly was attracted to Gere even though he was 16 years older than her. After 4 years of dating, Cindy wanted to get married and discussed it with Richard. On December 12, 1991, they got married at the Little House of the West in Las Vegas. In 1992, they both graced the cover of Vogue. In 1995, they divorced. Cindy stated that they grew out of each other and the distance led to the divorce. She later starred in the 1995 film Fair Game, which was a box office bomb and panned by critics. On May 29, 1998, after knowing each other for over 5 years, Cindy Crawford married Randy Gerber, a former model turned businessman, in a simple ceremony on the beach in the Bahamas surrounded by families. Cindy will quit modeling full-time in 2000 and retired from the runway after giving birth to her first child in 1999. She launched a furniture collection in 2005 and made some public and television appearances. In 2009, she guest starred in Disney Channel Wizard of Waverly Place. Throughout the 2000s and 2010, she mostly focused on raising her family. She has 2 children. They both have followed her footsteps into modeling. Her daughter Kaya Gerber has become a very successful model. In 2013, she appeared in an episode of Who Do You Think You Are, and in 2015 was in Taylor Swift's music video for Bad Blood. In 2019, she played the character of Cindy Crawford in an episode of BoJack Horseman. Cindy paid homage to her iconic 1991 Versace red dress at the 2018 Met Gala, and she returned to the catwalk alongside other supermodels for the Versace 2018 show. In 2020, Cindy can be seen making appearances on the Vogue YouTube channel and working with several charity organizations. She also enjoyed boxing training and recently graced the cover of Vogue Italia. Today, Cindy is focused on her family and helping others. She recently stated that she wants to focus on being present. Christy Turlington. Born January 2, 1969 in Oakland, California, she was raised Roman Catholic. Her father was a pilot and her mother was a flight attendant from El Salvador. At age 14, while she was horseback riding in Miami, she was discovered by a photographer who offered to take some pictures of her and her sister. She said that she had to beg her mother to agree. The photographer sent the pictures to a local modeling agency who quickly signed her. She would end up modeling while attending high school. At 16, after photos of her were sent to New York, she was signed with Supermodels, which was one of the largest modeling agencies. Before she turned 18, Christy already saw a great amount of success. She was featured in during Notorious music video and was doing editorial for prominent fashion magazine. 2 years later, after completing high school and turning 18, Christy moved to New York City to pursue a professional modeling career. She quickly became a catwalk staple, and every designer wanted her as their model. In the beginning, she said that she was actually self-conscious and uncomfortable on the runway. She stated that she felt silly pretending to have an attitude. By age 20, Christy became a supermodel and would become known in the business as the insurance model. Because clients know if they hire her, nothing will go wrong. She signed a very lucrative deal with Calvin Klein and became the face for Maybelline. In the 1990s, Christy's face was on every fashion magazine cover possible, including Elle, Marie Claire, Glamour, Cosmopolitan, and Allure, just to name a few. She became a hot commodity because of her classic beauty, being compared to the legendary Audrey Hepburn. While other supermodels started becoming known for their antics, Christy was known for her good reputation and dubbed the nice model by her fellow peers and people in the industry. She starred in the Catwalk documentary. For Vogue January 1990 issue, Christy shared the cover with her fellow supermodels and appeared in the George Michael music video for Freedom 90. Christy, Linda, Naomi, and Cindy will all make fashion history when they walked with Versace in 1991. Critics marked it as the official debut of the Supermodels. Soon after, the New York Metropolitan Museum of Art named her the face of the 20th century and created a collection of mannequins in her likeness. In 1994, while she was still at the height of her career, Christy made a decision to semi-retire and go back to school to study philosophy, literature, and art history. She graduated with a Bachelor of Art degree from New York University in 1999, and in 2008, she continued her study when she enrolled in a health course at New York Columbia University. Cindy started smoking at age 13. And in 1997, Christy lost her father to lung cancer. She quit smoking and devoted her time to raising awareness and promoting an anti-smoking campaign. In 2000, she discovered she contracted a smoking-related condition and focused on her health. Christy has always been passionate about yoga since 1989. She founded her own company and released a line of yoga wear called Noella. She launched her own holistic skincare called Sundari and published a yoga handbook. In summer 2000, Christy met actor Edward Burns at a party. After dating for 5 months, they were engaged and bought a house together. In March 2002, they ended their engagement but would get back together 7 months later and get married in 2003. They have 2 children together. After almost losing her life giving birth, in the 2010s, Christy founded Every Mother Count and made her directorial debut, No Woman, No Cry. She also directed the short film Every Mile, Every Mother and was named Glamour Woman of the Year. After more than 20 years away from the runway, in 2019, Christy closed the Autumn-Winter 2019 show for Marc Jacobs. She most recently graced the cover of Harper's Bazaar. While it does seem like Christy has left modeling behind to pursue a different passion, she can still be seen at photo shoots, and most recently in 2020, she did the Calvin Klein Eternity campaign again. Today, Christy is known for her humanitarian work. She enjoys traveling and raising awareness on several issues. Linda Evangelista. Born on May 10, 1965 in Ontario, Canada, Linda was raised Roman Catholic and attended a Catholic high school. At a young age, Linda was always interested in fashion, and people saw her potential in being a model. At age 12, she enrolled in a local modeling school and started modeling locally as a teenager. In 1978, Linda entered the Miss Teen Niagara Beauty Contest. Even though she didn't win the competition, she would receive a lot of job offers. At 16, she traveled to Japan to model. At one of her jobs, she had an unpleasant experience involving nudity that made her stop modeling and went back to school in Canada. 2 years later, after finishing high school, her mother convinced her to give modeling a second chance. She agreed and signed with Elite Model Management, and the agency would help start her career as a professional model. They sent her to Paris, where she garnered moderate success, but by the late 80s, she was featured in Vogue and became the muse to designers like Karl Lagerfeld and Versace. At age 20, Linda was on top of the fashion world. She landed covers after covers including Vogue, Rolling Stone, and Allure. It is estimated that she totaled over 700 covers worldwide. Known for her theatrical catwalk performances, there wasn't a major fashion show that didn't feature Linda. She walked for Valentino, Oscar de la Renta, Terry Mugler, Chloe, and so many more, often being the highlight of the show. Besides designers, photographers loved her. She shot countless campaigns and advertisements. In 1987, Linda was in a Revlon commercial for the Most Unforgettable Women in the World campaign. In 1988, famous photographer Peter Lindbergh convinced her to cut her hair, which initially resulted in her losing many runway gigs, but by the next runway season, her short haircut was the look. It would later be known as the Linda and made her into a supermodel. It was the haircut seen around the world and became a global trend. Linda would constantly experiment with her looks. Known for pulling off any look, haircut, and outfit, she was dubbed the chameleon by fashion insiders. By the end of the 80s, she was the face of Versace and Revlon. She married Gerald Marie in 1987, but divorced in 1993. She became the stepmother to his daughter and kept a close relationship with her. In the 1990s, during the supermodel era, Linda was named one of People magazine's 50 Most Beautiful People, appeared in the Terry Mugler themed Too Funky music video, and signed countless lucrative deals. She was one of the most famous and highest paid supermodels during that time. She was described as the war star model. In the October 1990 issue of Vogue, Linda was quoted saying, "We don't wake up for less than $10,000 a day," leading the press and people in the industry to call out her high fees and high maintenance. Linda knew she was a hot commodity and made sure to be paid what she was worth. Even though she was known for her eccentric behavior, Linda was always professional. She was always on time for jobs and made her clients happy. She actually once waived her high fees for designer Anna Sui so she could walk with her fellow supermodel friends Naomi and Christy. They were a huge supporter of Anna Sui and often did her show for free and received clothing in return. By the mid-90s, she appeared in the fashion documentaries Unzip and Catwalk. She was a presenter at the Miss World 1995 competition and received the Industry Lifetime Achievement Award presented by Vogue in 1997. In 1998, with the end of the supermodel era and the changing of the fashion industry, Linda took a break from modeling and settled down in France. She began dating French footballer Fabien Barthez and announced a pregnancy, but sadly, Linda suffered a miscarriage at 6 months. 3 years later, Linda returned to the modeling world in 2001 and appeared on the cover of the September issue of Vogue. It was like she never left. She did many campaigns and walked the runway for Versace. She closed Chanel Fall/Winter 2003 Haute Couture show and appeared in a Fendi ad. Throughout the 2000s, Linda was in demand as ever. She went on to receive a star on Canada Walk of Fame in Toronto and be praised for being one of the original supermodels. In 2006, Linda gave birth to her first and only child. She will be involved in a child support case after revealing the father of her son to be billionaire freshman Francois-Henri Pinault. Both parties ended up settling out of court. In the 2010s, while Linda mostly focused on raising her son and living a simple life, she remained connected to the fashion industry. She attended the Met Gala in 2012, the CFDA Award Show in 2013, and the White House Correspondent Dinner in 2014. She ended up gracing the cover of Harper's Bazaar, Vogue Italia, and Zoo magazine by the end of the 2010s. Linda is activist for HIV/AIDS research and awareness, as well as for breast cancer research and awareness. In 2020, she has signed on to be in the Apple TV docu-series about the original supermodel, set to be released in 2021. Today, Linda is dedicated to her family and says she hopes to grow old gracefully. Well, that's the end for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and comment. Subscribe for more fashion related video, and I hope you have a great holiday. Bye!